Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you a video on how to make cookies using multiple stencils on one cookie. I'm going to make these cookies here using the narrow stripe and the little fish cookie. So I'm going to show you how to do the stripes first. So I have a cookie that's been iced and has been allowed to dry. You definitely want your cookies to be really dry, and the top layer needs to be hard before you start stenciling. So I have my narrow stripe and need to flip it around and I'm going to place it where I want it over my cookie and place my magnets down. So you'll see I have two magnets under the cookie and then one on top to secure it. And if you can do this over a magnetic cookie sheet, you're going to get your best results. Everything will definitely stay in place. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some press and seal because I want to mask out the middle section of this cookie where I'm going to put the fish later. So press and seal is a great little tool to use to mask off any places on your cookie that you don't want airbrushed. If you're doing just sections of a cookie with a stencil and then you're going to pipe on top of it, or you want to do multiple stencils like we're going to do today. Now granted, you could have also iced the cookie in sections. You could have iced the outside of the cookie first and then sprayed it and then iced the middle. So it's really up to you. I kind of just like to do everything at once, so ice it all at once and then airbrush all at once. But it depends on how you like to work. So here I am airbrushing the stripes. Sorry for getting in the way of the camera there. And you can see I give it one spray and then go back and give another spray just to let it set for a second. Now carefully lift away your stencil, and if you're doing this press and seal method, you're going to take a little more time just to make sure you don't smudge it all around. But as I pull back, you can see I've got the stripes on the outside of the cookie the way I wanted, and the inside is nice and clean and ready to go for the next time. So now here's what we're going to do next. We're going to put these fish on. So I've allowed the cookie to dry completely from the airbrushing. So depending on your airbrushing situation or the humidity, or it might, this might be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes to make sure it's really dry. You don't want it to smudge at all. And so now I've placed my fish where I want it, and I'm going back in with 2 pieces of press and seal, and I'm going to cover up where I had sprayed with the stripes. And since I'm using such big chunks of the press and seal, I'm going to skip the magnets on this part because the press and seal actually does a really good job of holding it down. So I've got everything in place, and I've got my airbrush ready to go with some blue shimmer airbrush color. And like I said in my other video, you definitely want to, especially when you first start airbrushing, keep your setting on low. If your airbrush has settings, keep the airspeed on low and make sure you don't get too close to the cookie. You don't want it to bubble and splatter. So those will help you in your airbrush qualities. Now I'm going to carefully pull back the stencil here and the press and seal, and you can see I've got my little fish right where I want them, and it's all ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I let it dry, and then I went back and I just piped a border around the middle and outside edge of the cookie just to hide any overspray or anywhere where the stenciling wasn't quite perfect. So there's your finished product. I hope you learned a lot today, and I hope you'll visit my website.